Hey everyone. So, have you ever looked at the crypto space and thought, it's all a bit disconnected? You've got all these amazing blockchains, but they're like separate islands, totally cut off from each other. They can't talk, they can't trade. It's a huge problem. Well, that's exactly what we're tackling today with a project called Cosmos. It's all about building bridges between those islands. So let's just dig right into that. Why are they like separate islands? I mean, you've got these incredible, powerful ecosystems, right? But for some reason, they really struggle to interact with each other directly. And here's what that looks like in practice. They just can't easily talk or trade value with each other. Think about the big ones, like Ethereum or Solana. They're basically operating in their own little digital nations. And this huge separation, yeah, we can definitely call it blockchain's Great Divide. Right, so let's talk about that divide. Because this isn't just some nerdy technical detail. It has real-world consequences for literally everyone in the space, from users to developers. Okay, so what are the actual problems here? Well, first off, if you've ever tried to move assets between chains, you know it can be a nightmare. It's slow, it's expensive, and you have to rely on these clunky bridge things. Then there's the problem of sharing data and, money, liquidity. It all gets locked up in these separate silos. An app on one chain can't tap into the resources of another. And what that does is it traps innovation. It basically puts a ceiling on what's possible for the entire crypto world. But what if there was a better way? What if you could connect all these chains? What if you could build a network of networks? Well, that's exactly where Cosmos comes in. That's their whole vision. So what is Cosmos? At its heart, it's a platform designed to do one thing and do it really, really well. Connect different blockchains. The big idea is to create what they call an internet of blockchains. Think about it. Information and value could just flow freely between them, just like how data flows across the normal internet we use every day. Okay, that sounds amazing, but how? How does it actually work? How do they build these connections and create this giant network? Let's get into the nuts and bolts. Honestly, this is the best way to think about it. You know the router in your house, the one that directs internet traffic between your phone, your laptop, your TV? Cosmos is basically a router for blockchains. It directs all the transactions and data between these chains that would otherwise be completely cut off from each other. The whole system is really built on three key parts. First, you've got the Cosmos Hub. That's the main router we just talked about, the center of everything. Then you have what are called zones. These are just the individual, independent blockchains that plug into the hub. And finally, this is the real magic right here, you have the IBC protocol. IBC stands for Inter-Blockchain Communication. Think of it like a universal translator. It's the language that lets all these different zones talk to each other securely through the hub. And here's something really cool. Cosmos doesn't just connect the chains that are already out there, it actually makes it super easy for developers to build brand new ones. They have this thing called the Cosmos SDK. It's like a Lego set for building blockchains. It lets developers spin up their own custom, independent blockchains that, right out of the box, are ready to connect to this whole ecosystem. You can see how that would just supercharge growth, right? Okay, so you have this amazing network, but how do you keep it secure? How do you make sure everyone's playing by the rules? Well, that's where the network's own token comes in. It's called Atom, and trust me, it's way more than just a coin you can trade. Atom has some really important jobs to do. First, you can stake your Atom, which basically means you're helping to secure the main Cosmos hub, and you get paid rewards for doing it. Pretty cool. Second, it gives you a voice. You can use your Atom to vote on changes and upgrades to the network. And third, and this is crucial, the entire security system that makes sure all this communication between chains works smoothly, it's all backed by Atom. It's the backbone of the whole thing. All right, so this all sounds fantastic on paper, right? But is anyone actually using it? Is it working? Let's take a look at the ecosystem and see what's really happening. Okay, let's make this real. Let's walk through a simple but super powerful example. Moving some crypto from one blockchain to a totally different one. The process is actually beautiful in its simplicity. So a token can leave a zone, let's say it's on Ethereum. It travels through the Cosmos Hub using that IBC protocol we talked about, and then it arrives at a completely different blockchain like, say, Terra 2.0. And here's the key. When it gets there, it's ready to use immediately. It's not a wrapped token, which is like a photocopy of the real thing. No, this is the actual asset, ready to be used in a new app on a new chain. That is what true interoperability looks like.
And people are absolutely using this. We're not talking about a few dozen tech nerds here. We're talking about over 100,000 active wallets using this IBC protocol. That's a serious number. It shows you that this is a real, growing network.
And hey, where you find users, you usually find money. Take a look at Osmosis, for example. It's a huge DeFi app built in the Cosmos ecosystem. It has over $2.5 billion locked up in it. That is a staggering amount of economic activity flowing through these connected chains. So this whole Internet of Blockchains idea, it isn't some science fiction concept for the future. It is happening right now, today. There are already more than 50 independent blockchains connected and talking to each other through Cosmos. Now, to be fair, Cosmos isn't the only game in town. Its biggest competitor is probably Polkadot, and it's really interesting because they have totally different philosophies. Cosmos is all about sovereignty. Each chain is its own boss with its own security. Polkadot, on the other hand, uses a shared security model. Their parachains basically rent security from the main network. So it's two very different approaches to solving the same problem. So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. Cosmos is not just an idea anymore. It's not a white paper or a promise. It's a living, breathing, and fast-growing ecosystem. It's got real users, real money, and real apps running on it today. And that really leaves us with a huge question for the future of crypto, doesn't it? Are we heading towards a world where one single best blockchain wins everything? Or is the future something more like what Cosmos is building? A whole universe of different specialized blockchains, all connected and talking to each other. It's a pretty big idea to chew on. Thanks so much for tuning in.